Welcome, NKU fans, to Norse and Around, your NKU source from the Grueling Truth Radio Network. My name is James Ernst, and my co-host is Alex Gray. Alex, who's our guest this week?
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today?
Doing wonderful. So, Alex, who do we have for guest this week?
Today we have a former NKU basketball player named we have Eshaunte Jones as our guest.
Excellent. Eshaunte, welcome to the show. What
Thank
have you been up to?
Say it again. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, what have you been up to?
Well, I started with my partner at prep school here in Naples, Florida. It's a basketball academy. We take kids from all over the world. This year on our 11-man roster, we have kids from Europe, Spain, all over the country, Los Angeles, Vegas, Wisconsin, Michigan. And what we do is they do a post-grad year with us, and we prepare them for a 6 to 8 month program to prepare them for college basketball. To go to the next level the following year. So that's what we do here in Naples, Florida. So
that sounds a lot like a program that you went through at Military Academy.
Yep, it's the same exact thing. I'm sorry. Difference is we're not military, but we also play like one of those top schedules of some of the top schools in the country, like Mount Verde, that produced D'Angelo Russell, Ben Simmons, and guys like that. So that's some of the things that some of the teams that we'll play, like IMG Academy, or just some of those top preps within the United States here.
So you all would be part of, say, like the National Prep Invitational?
See, this year with us this is the first year that we started it. So this year we didn't get invited. It's one of those things where they want to know how you guys, develop and how you perform, within your season. And then, if we're capable of beating those, Mount Verdes and IMGs and those type of big-time academies, Oak Hills and stuff like that, then we'll get invited to the national prep championships at the end of the season. So kind of what happened with Northern, how the last 4 years we haven't been eligible and just kind of had to work our way into Division I eligibility. Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. Alex, you got any questions?
Yeah. What was it like you found out that, NKU is going to move up to Division I? How was that like, and what was the transition like for you?
Well, it was pretty easy for me with the transition, because I was at University of Nebraska previously for my previous 2 years, so I played in the Big 12 Conference, and at the time it was considered the best conference in the country. So the talent, the talent level was extremely tough, but doing a year of Division II and then going back to Division I, it wasn't that hard of a transition to me, just because the talent level that we played, that I played previous. So it really wasn't too bad of a transition going forward at Northern. So.
All right.
Let's see. Obviously, you had a great high school career, a lot of awards and that. And then with the recruiting process, was kind of muddled there. Was it true that you at one point were going to Indiana?
Yes. I was actually signed to Indiana, and then Calvin Sampson had the legal recruiting. So a lot of us ended up breaking up that recruiting class in 2008, and at that time we were ranked the number 2 recruiting class in the country. And it was one of those things where he had a great thing going, but you have to do stuff the right way. So I truly I truly understood what the NCAA was doing, and just had to move forward and make the best decision for me and my family. So
I got to give you credit because half the time I had no idea what they're doing. They picked on some of the dumbest things. You can't buy people lunch and you can't buy them airplanes.
Yeah,
just can't do that.
I get you can't just hand people money or give family members jobs, but if someone has an important family moment, a funeral, wedding, or whatever, and
right
back home to see their family. So you went from Indiana, you were in talks with, and then you switched to Oregon State?
Yes. I ended up signing to Oregon State. It was a family friend I got recruited by, and he was pretty close to the family. So, for me and my family, we thought that would be the best decision to go to Oregon State with Jay John at the time. And at the time, the year I was supposed to come in, he ended up getting fired and ended up going to Cal as a head assistant. But, it was one of those things where, when am I going to have a home? So it was like after he got fired, I got released from my my letter of intent, and then that's when Nebraska jumped in the picture, and I ended up signing there. So
it was good that they let you do that, because that is another one of those rules I don't get. I mean, you went there to play for a particular coach, and then a lot of times, they're kind of stuck. If they get to play for the coach 1 year, and then he moves on to another team, or it's just, one of those weird things. So you said, of course, your time in Nebraska. And as a freshman, I mean, you had a stellar start going there. I mean, you were one of the top freshmen in Nebraska history statistically. What was the difference between the freshman and sophomore year?
It was one of those things where I went in, and to be honest, I started out great, and I broke my foot. I had a floating bone in the back of my heel. So I really, the crazy thing is, like the first two games, like the first game I had like 19, and then the next game I don't even remember what I had, but I think I had double figures. Mm-hmm. And at the time, it came out in the paper, maybe he has a chance to make first team Big 12 as a freshman. It was a lot of hype around it, but then it came out that, I went to go get, I couldn't walk on my right foot. I was walking on my tippy toes at the time. So, I had to tell my coach, I told Doc Saller, I said, man, I can't even walk. Like, I'm playing on my toes right now. And, and he was just like, well, you just had 19 points. How you can't walk? I said, I literally can't walk. I'm playing on my tippy toes. So, that next night I went to go get x-rays, and that's when they said the whole back of my foot was pretty much damaged. So
exactly. So you were playing through the pain, and it got to the point where, I mean, you can't play forever, on adrenaline.
Exactly.
Was that injury, do you feel that was related to your previous foot injury at the military academy, or was that a separate?
It was pretty much the same injury that I had at the academy, and it just lingered, and I thought it was, one of those things where it was just a sprain, but it ended up being a broke foot. So they went in and did surgery and stuff like that, and that basically pushed me back to being out a whole year. So that's pretty much.
It seemed like it was compounded with the hernia as well?
Yeah.
All kinds of bad luck there.
Yeah. So it ended up being the foot, and then the hernia came, and then I went on to have 2 knee surgeries as well. So it was like, and the crazy thing is, it was like I'd never been hurt in my life and previous that, and then all of a sudden it was boom, 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 boom. So, freak accident.
Don't want to make it sound like Nebraska was all bad. You had, the Vegas trip, you had a Bahamas trip, and an NIT tournament?
Yeah.
elaborate on some of those?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
The Vegas or the Bahamas trip? Those sound like they'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, they were pretty good. Pretty good talent as well. So it was a time where I was blessed to be able to get the opportunity to experience, different, big cities and countries and different stuff like that. So it was a wonderful experience there as well. So I don't regret that at all. So.
When you were going to Northern, in between Nebraska and Northern, did you have a feeling Northern was going to go Division I? Had you heard anything? Was that part of the decision, or was that just kind of a surprise and a nice perk?
Well, that was part of the decision. Dave Beazle, he's off the court. He's one of those coaches that will take his shirt off his own back just to give to you. He was a wonderful father figure to me as, growing just as a man. And after him, after having to sit down with him and talking to him, it was a no-brainer that's where I was going to end up going just because, I always wanted to be closer to home as well. So I thought that, that was the place, for me. And I thought that, it would be a great move for not only me but for my family as well. So,
of course, during your career at Northern, you ended up having a really nice milestone there, 1,000 points for your entire career. How was that evening? Was it anything? Did they do anything special? Did you feel it was anything special, or did you just kind of another 2 points?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Oh, during your game during your career at Northern, you ended up scoring 1,000 for your total NCAA career. Did they acknowledge it? Was there any hoopla about it? Did you feel that was a big event, or was that just kind of just another 2 points for you?
It was awesome. I thought it was a great because they acknowledged it when I scored my 1,000th point, and at the end of the game they gave me the ball. They put it on the big screen and everything. But the most important thing to me that night was just trying to get the win and bringing the W home, and that's really all that really mattered to me. I really didn't care about. I'm really not a person that really care about points. I just do it just to help my team win. So I really didn't acknowledge it or felt any certain way. It was just we got the win, so that was the most important thing to me at the time. So.
And then, of course, speaking of wins, and I'm a big Northern fan, went there, student, so I'm an alum. Of course, she was there the years when Ken Shield first took them to the back-to-back finals. But as a fan, I feel this might be the biggest win in Northern history, and, of course, you made the shot for that biggest win. Could you describe that night in West Virginia?
That night was special. Now that was a special night. That was probably more of my memorable games that I've ever had, just because everybody is there to watch us get beat to sleep, and people didn't understand what type of team we had, and we worked so hard in that off season, and we were just a great group. We loved playing with each other, and I think that's what really helped us win that game, because we just stuck together in an atmosphere that was, something that we weren't going to be able, that we weren't going to play in throughout the season. So it was one of those things where you were excited, and we wanted to win. That was one game that we were, we went in and it was about business, and we really wanted to come out with a win, and thank God, and luckily we did, and we won by a last-second shot. So,
and the amazing thing about that is, it's not like because when it happened, of course, as a Norse fan, was bragging to all my buddies that had always rambled on about UK, UC, Xavier. I was like, is our key victory. And of course they, poo-pooed it as saying, oh, it's an exhibition game, and West Virginia won't even make the tournament. I think that year they even made like the Sweet 16, so they were a darn good team. So it wasn't like one of those where you just happened to beat a Division I school that was having a bad year. They still made the tournament and did well in the tournament. I mean, of course, with Coach Huggins, that was Northern's first division win against the Division I school since, it was 1984 was the last time prior to you all doing that. They beat Tennessee State, so it had been a little bit.
Yeah, 64 in Regents Hall in a regular season game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was, a huge win, and I think has really helped the program. I mean, it was a nice start because, of course, at that time they had started talking about the Division I, and of course they'd started getting things rolling in the right direction. So, no matter what, you'll always be able to look back on that as part of Northern in their development into a Division I school. So you're doing the coaching thing nowadays?
Yes. Well, I'm basically overseeing. So me and a buddy partnered up and started a prep school here in Naples, Florida. And like I said, we will play some of those top schools in the country, and we develop them for 6 to 8 months, and then they go on to play college basketball, and then in the summer they may train for us for a little bit before colleges might say we're ready for you to come to take summer classes. But majority of colleges would want them to stay and work out until they can until they're able to come and take classes and be able to work out with the team. But after that, we also run an NBA pre-draft camp here in Naples, Florida, and this year will be the first year here with International Sports Academy that we're doing it. I did it previously last year with Gannon Baker, a Nike guy, and it was, a wonderful thing working with the pros and preparing them. It's always great to see guys working towards their dreams, so I get excited about that. So
I was going to say, you don't seem to be a name dropper type of guy, but of course I'm totally into that. So if you could drop a couple of names of the different people that have, participated in the camp just for the fun of it.
Well, right now, last year, Kyrie Irving, we worked out with him. Gannon had Kobe. I helped him with a little bit with that. Earl Clark, who else was the other guy? Zach Randolph was another one. I can go say it again. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say there's probably a long list of players, it sounds like that, but that's great. So any good stories about any player in particular? Anything funny or, particularly memorable about, say Kobe or one of the fellas?
Well, see, I was with Kobe. He's just one of those guys. I got him when he was old, so I watched Gannon really train him, and he really didn't do much. He just shot a lot of mid-range shots and stuff like that. So he really didn't do much. But Kyrie Irving, he's truly amazing. When it's just he's one of those guys where it's just like, he wows you with everything that he does. His ball handling is probably the best in the NBA. He's more athletic than what people think he is. And with him, it shows when he was in the finals and won the NBA championship. So when he won, it didn't surprise me because he worked so hard.
How supposedly at the Olympics, Kobe did like a $50,000 challenge against one of the other players.
Yeah.
Any of that kind of, or just the guys pulling pranks on each other, any of that kind of silliness, or is it pretty business? There.
Well, it's pretty business. Well, Earl Clark, he's really a goofy. He's the goofiest pride guy you ever meet. He was one of those guys where he, while one of the guys was asleep, he decided to dump a bucket of ice and water on him to wake him up. So, he was a rookie, so it was,
You got to hate him a little bit. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So that was one of the big memorable pranks that I remember while doing pre-draft. So
excellent. Any of that, like how LeBron James got dunked on by Jordan Crawford? Any of that kind of stuff where you'd be like, oh my gosh, so and so, just something that would surprise the heck out of you. Any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Well, who had a good one? I'm trying to think. I forgot. His last name was Larkin. I don't really remember his first name. He was another one that was with us.
Larkin?
And Larkin from Miami?
Yeah, Shane Larkin. That's Barry's son.
Yeah. Shane, and he actually trained with us also in the summer. And
oh, wow.
He actually dunked on I forgot the big name for the Nets. But because we have him.
Williams?
Say it again.
Darren Williams?
No, he was a power forward. He's a power forward. He's a big guy. No, not Lopez. Not the All-Star. No. He's
the guy who went to the Jazz recently. Not the Jazz. I mean the Pacers. I want to say Wells. What is that?
No, not Dez Wells. Not Dez Wells.
Chris Porzingis, maybe?
Not Porzingis. Not for the Knicks. I forgot his name. But
okay, but Larkin. Actually, that's perfect with it being a show for the tri-state area. So Larkin had a really good dunk.
Oh yeah, he had a great workout too. I thought he was going to be. I think he's going to be really good. I thought he's going to be really good. Just the way he's a gym rat and he trains hard and he gets up a lot of shots. He really knows how to train and be a professional. So I think Larkin is going to be he'll be in the league a good 8 to 10 years. He'll have a good 8 to 10 year career in the NBA just because he
get their opportunity.
He's a good player.
Yeah. And he's a wonderful guy. He's also a wonderful kid too. I think he's going to be successful in the NBA. So
that's what we like. Good. It's always good to hear about local guys doing well, and definitely we plan on keeping in touch with you so that way you can update us on the camps and just how the players are doing and all. And we hope to hear more from you in the future.
Okay.
We really appreciate you coming on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you happen, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say I appreciate you guys too, just taking out your time and letting me be on the show today. So
it was our pleasure. If you have any former teammates that are interested in being on the show, because we just started up the NKU show. The nice thing is the UC show we've got booked up for the next 2 months. But NKU, of course, with not having as many players to pull from. And the ones that I have been able to get a hold of, we actually surprisingly have a lot of players overseas. I've talked to about 4 or 5 players that are like, I would love to be on the show, but 10:30 or 10:40, when you all record, is 4 in the morning in the country.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to say, you can relate. You played overseas, so that time differential, there's got to be a strain.
Yeah, it's totally a change. I will say that. So
come across anybody that's interested, please forward them our information. This interview is going to be going up on the gruelingtruth.net. So, of course, it'll be available to listen to there, and then I'm going to forward it to your Facebook account. So do you have like a Twitter handle or a website for the camp, so if there is a player out there that's listening to the show that wants to learn more about the process and how to train with you?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Oh, do you have like a Twitter handle or like a website for them to find out more about the training program?
Yes, I will do. Yeah, yes, I do.
Oh, shoot. Well, what is it?
You can find it at IS8.hoops.
Mm-hmm.
So that stands for International Sports Academy.
Okay.
Nice. Sounds great. We appreciate you being on the show, and definitely, like I said, we're going to stay in touch. And thank you.
Okay, and it was a pleasure. You guys have a good night.